Hey, welcome to another show from the Watch Advocate. Today I've got a fun one for you. A little bit controversial, but definitely fun. And this one's honestly last minute. I had some other shows planned, and then this just came up. And I kind of put out a little bit of a test feeler out there for social media Facebook groups. And that just led to what I'm just going to almost go on a rant today. I feel like that's the best way to do it. But hey, if you like watch information, just kind of people talking about watches, that's me. Please like, subscribe, check out the website, TheWatchAdvocate.com. I got a few affiliate links on there. We do get a kickback if you click on anything and then buy, I think, anything on Amazon, honestly, the next day. So much appreciated. But hey, we'd appreciate it if you subscribe even more. So, I'm just going to skip the fun news for the week. Besides prices are crashing. Woohoo, big surprise. Everything else is crashing too. The watch market is getting a little more, just affordable again. I actually was just looking at Rolex today, and you can get a pretty decent used Submariner on just the gray market for under 10 grand. Blew my mind. Couldn't believe it. I was just absolutely shocked. But that's wonderful. And I guess that kind of comes a little bit with the info. I had a question today that I actually posted on a Facebook group. I won't name the one, but let's just say they're all exactly the same. Any mainline watch Facebook group that's over, let's say, like 30,000 people on there, from Omega to Rolex, they're all the same. And honestly, it doesn't even matter whether it's watches too. In other Facebook groups, they have the exact same issue, and it's basically a mixture of groupthink. What do I want to put the emotion to? People attempting to make themselves feel good, and then just those that are desperate. It is a big mixture of all those, and maybe a little bit of everything all in one, that make those extremely toxic environments. I hate using the word toxic. It's just so not my generation. But the truth is that most Facebook groups, unless they are a small, minute, really good group of people, are pretty toxic. And it doesn't even matter what you go in there for. Most people go in really excited. They love the brand. They love the topic. And then they just find a lot of individuals that are scorned. They think they're better than everybody. They just get off on causing conflict, and not good conflict either. Usually it's pretty poor conflict. So I'm really going to advocate that people, especially if you're new to the watch market, do not get into the hype of Facebook groups. The truth is, really, I think most people are there just so they can either flip things or pick things up at a discount, and they do not care what harm it takes to do that. You would not believe the lengths people will go to hype something up that is really not true just to sell it for a higher price. I've seen this done in every group, every type of group imaginable. And it's not just from the authors, the owners, the mods of the group either. It really is just everybody else that's in there. And it's pretty shady. And if you're new to them, you won't catch on to it. You'll get burned by it, and then you'll end up just pretty pissed off and pretty sad. Now, I originally liked the idea of going into groups, getting advice, getting information on a product. But most of the time, you just end up scorned, because when they're a group that size, there are so many just psychological monsters on there. I don't even want to call them trolls. They're just people that are so just conceited, and they will attack anybody in any way, shape, and form. And I just want to let people know that it's not okay, it's not fun, it's not a good experience. And even if you think you're in a good group, it's gonna get bad. The more it grows, that is just what it builds, and it builds groupthink along with it. And that is everybody thinking the same way no matter what. And you cannot go against the group. Otherwise, you're just labeled an idiot, an outcast, and you will be just absolutely plastered that way. And it does not matter whether you're wrong or you're right. And that's kind of the problem. And I see it over and over and over again. Now, what literally almost all these groups are, they have financial cues for the owners of them, or for the moderators, the admins. There are always financial reasons behind every single Facebook group. Do not be Okay, I won't tell you the industry that I'm in, but I know that there is money behind it. I know that every single one is a financial motivation, rather they pretend to be or not. And that's just the absolute truth. And most of the time, they're not ran by the people that you are thinking they are. 95% of the time, these Facebook groups are ran by other individuals that are making cash off it or being paid to make somebody else money. It is just that way, or they're using other people to make money off of them and don't really even know it. That's there too. So it's just a marketing ploy all around, and I've found it to be extremely, extremely toxic. Gosh, I hated it. I just wanted to test it today. I wanted to ask about a diver, about what sort of leather strap. There's some photos out there that look good on this dive watch, because I'm truly interested in it. And the fact is, I've dived more with this watch than probably 99.9% of the people in the group I was asking. And the vast majority of people only gave negative feedback on a simple question of, hey, I'm interested in this. Show me your pictures of what you've done with it. I didn't get a single positive answer back. And there are 50,000 people in this group. This is not a small group. I just couldn't believe the negative feedback on it. It was not a bad question. Matter of fact, it was a very justified question. And I literally just had to be sarcastic, and I replied to every one of them in a sarcastic way, because the vast majority didn't even come close to answering my question. They didn't read it. They just wanted to be heard. Not only did they want to be heard, they wanted to be agreed upon by everybody else, because they're popular, they control the groupthink, or they're getting some sort of financial kickback off of something to lead them away from my question, which was just amazing to see and to do in first person. Oh my gosh, it just blows my mind. And most people either don't get it, or they're just the sheep that follow along. So this isn't going to be like a really in-depth psychological review of Facebook groups, or a financial or a marketing review of them either. Well, one, they're great money. If you can get the correct system set up, they are one of the highest financial just outlets, and it's nearly free. It can be free except for time. That's the only cost you really have involved for the most part. And gosh, it just is absolutely incredible. So if you're new into watches and you get excited, especially about a brand, I highly recommend you do not jump into a Facebook group on those brands. You will most likely be disappointed, get bad information, or biased information that's usually with a financial motivation behind it. Whether you think so or not, and I know there's always the actual good people in these groups, but the truth is that there's not that many of them. There just really isn't, and it's kind of unfortunate. And that was my experience today, and it's happened all the time. Yes, I've made a lot of money off of Facebook groups from different ways in the past. I've made other people money from it, and that's the disturbing part of what they are. They are financial motivations, and they're there to motivate people to spend money, and that's just the absolute truth of it. And I just don't want the average person to go in there and be bamboozled. And let me tell you, gosh, just family members. If I had family members jump on those and believe what they were told, they'd be given so much horrible information, or they'd be really disappointed or depressed. And that happens a lot too. And that's really also a motivation behind why a lot of people do what they do. They get off on that. And I know this is nothing new to pretty much anybody who's kind of grown up in the technological age, but people who are into watches are usually, I'd say a little older. They generally have a little more financial backing. Generally, this is just a generalization. And they may not know the financial motivations behind Facebook. And it's not, Facebook doesn't get a kickback. Soon they probably will. They'll figure out a way to monetize it. But at this point, Facebook doesn't. It's just the businesses that are getting cash on the back end of interesting marketing schemes that they're putting through these. So keep that in mind. And even if it's not money motivated, it's always groupthink motivated. Oh, I just can't get over it. It drives me insane how many just good people I've seen go down bad paths, and good companies that have allowed their Facebook groups to get out of hand so fast because they see the financial benefit of it, and they're just willing to follow the lie, essentially. So Oof, wow. You know what? I'm going to take a little sip here of my glorious sipping rum. And yes, it is rum. You can get some really good rums out there. Nice and dark, really well aged. That one comes from Jamaica, a fantastic brand. Not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. Gosh, I wish we were. Hopefully that'll be a season to come. That would be fantastic. But yeah, that's really all I wanted to go over. It was a rant. This was truly a rant. It wasn't very organized. It was just kind of my thoughts on Facebook groups and the negativity that can come behind them. Originally, they were so positive to start with. But now that there is the capability of money and just horrible people out there, most people really aren't that great. I just want to let people know to be wary of the information you're getting and of the groupthink that follows the vast majority of that information. So if you're new, be wary, be warned. Honestly, just don't do it. It's also just such a waste of time. You don't need to be drawn into just the capitalist mindset of I need to buy more, I need to buy something different. What I have isn't good enough. Because most of the time you won't find yourself justifying your purchase. You'll find yourself justifying the reason to buy something else. So that's the words of wisdom I will leave you with when it comes to just social media groups in general. Not just going to bash on Facebook, although that is a big part of it. But yeah, that's all it is. I hope you enjoyed this show. I hope you found some sort of useful information off of it. I'm just trying to help people who may not understand the reason behind these groups, what happens in them, and just how they really cause a lot of harm. Especially if you're not aware of what's really going on. So, thanks for hanging in there. Like, subscribe. Hey, tell your friends about the show. If you like watches, you're interested in them. Hey, let them know you listen to this crazy guy who drinks sipping rum. Oh my gosh, love it. Well, hey, I will catch you on next week's show. Thanks for hanging out, and yeah, have a good one.